everyone, welcome back to Rally Caps. It's a podcast for artists, entrepreneurs, and everybody in between. I'm Steven.
And I'm Eric.
And today's episode is all about how our YouTube channel for Rally Caps got demonetized. We're going to get into the whole nitty gritty of that, when it took place, all of the details associated with it. Before we get into that, hey, if you're a new member of the Rally Caps team, thanks so much for being here. If it's your first time seeing the channel or listening to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, really appreciate you being here. If you're a longtime member, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being a part of the team with us for so long, regardless of which camp you fall in. If you've never subscribed to the YouTube channel or liked a video, maybe you could consider doing that right now. We'd really appreciate that. Or while you're at it, maybe even just leave a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. That'd be amazing. Help push the show out to more and more people who could benefit from it. Thanks so much for being here. We sincerely appreciate all the support you've shown us in the last 3.5 years of us being a show. 3.5 years. So that's pretty crazy.
Be honest why we're demonetized.
Because you brought guns to the YouTube channel.
Okay, that's a better answer. Oh, you're rocking the cutoff today.
I am. Dude, it's hot.
98 degrees outside.
Yeah, we're recording this on a very sweaty day. It's hot and humid, both. It's like you're walking through water outside in Chicago.
Florida.
It is like Florida.
I was going to say, just because how inappropriate you are.
Oh, all the cuss words, all the, the sailor mouth that I bring to the show.
all of the bad words.
The bad words that got me in trouble in first grade are coming back for me now.
Got me in trouble in second grade.
I could see that.
Third grade.
I could see that too.
Now hear me out.
Fourth grade? So
12th grade.
Definitely 12th grade. Oh, for sure. Peak Xbox years.
Those are some bad words.
Those are some
12th grade.
Yeah, dude, 12 whole years of bad words.
Real quick.
This is an episode that we actually teased a little bit like 2 months ago.
Did we?
We did at the end of an episode.
Oh yeah.
We had made mention of it. We're like, we're gonna tackle it in a little bit.
We don't make any money on YouTube.
No. And funny enough, for listeners of the show, we're finally addressing this now, even though it happened 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Which I think is maybe the biggest chunk that people aren't aware of is we've basically never made money from the channel. I think we've had a few months of monetization before it got demonetized, and it's been demonetized this entire time. All the episodes that you've seen here on the YouTube channel specifically, never gotten a cent from them.
It was season 2 where we met the qualifications, which the qualifications of YouTube to be monetized at that point, and still I believe, is 1,000 subscribers.
Yep.
4,000 watch hours in the last 365 days.
Correct.
Which now we're well beyond that.
Oh, way past it.
Yeah. And when we had a huge hiatus between season 2 and 3, we actually got out of it because our watch hours went so low. Even though we were already demonetized, we still I had the hopes that if we got it back, we would be monetized.
Yeah.
I guess I just didn't realize that we were fully demonetized at that point.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, let's get the 4,000 watch hours back. We got into season 3 and we got it back. And I'm like, great.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
wait,
what happened?
Why isn't it back? Yeah. So that brings us to the reason it happened, which is
bogus.
Totally bogus. And very unusual too, which is actually why we wanted to make this episode in the first place, is because it seems to be something that we at least don't see it talked about a ton. When we say we got demonetized, it's not as if we had 3 channel strikes or something, or YouTube hit us with demonetization.
Well,
it actually goes a step.
Hey,
totally.
We can say whatever we want right now. It doesn't matter.
It literally doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want, which is kind of interesting. It's liberating, but it goes a step.
Birds aren't real.
Fake birds fly over flat Earth.
Sorry, go ahead.
It goes beyond just YouTube itself. It is their parent company, Google. We got an email 2.5 years ago, cold contact from Google saying, hey, your Google AdSense account has been terminated.
No warning.
No warning, no heads up, there's no strike system, nothing, just, hey, we've canceled your account. If you think this was done in error, you can file an appeal, which we did.
Yes.
And based off of the amount of time that it took for them to respond, I guarantee you, no one read that. I promise you, because I filled it out. I had this whole heartfelt response and everything. I did exactly what all the other YouTube videos that I watched instructed me to do, when something like this happens. Guarantee no one actually read it. And then they responded saying, hey,
sorry about it.
Sorry, our decision stands, kind of thing. The reason that was cited was invalid click activity or invalid traffic was seen on our YouTube channel, and Google made the decision that for the sake of their advertisers, they had to cancel our account, which is one, hysterical to me that we were getting enough traffic on the Rally Caps YouTube channel that it warranted removing our AdSense account.
It clearly was just an error.
Yes. Yeah.
Or some bot came in and clicked a link a gazillion times.
Yeah. Which we have no control over, but it doesn't matter in this situation, which is fascinating. I do want to just give the definition of I gotta read now. Hey, Google, look at me. I'm going to take you down.
I am the captain now.
I'm the captain now. I just want to read the definition of what invalid traffic is. According to Google, this is from their website directly. Invalid traffic is an activity that doesn't come from a real user with genuine interest. It can include accidental clicks caused by intrusive ad implementations, fraudulent clicking by competing advertisers, advertising, botnets, and more. So
how is that our fault?
Which is a great question. It's a thing that's impossible for us to control.
And then there's like, see ya, you can't make money on our platform now because of forces out of your control.
Yep. We'll put screenshots of all this up. I'm going to show the first email that we received. The funniest part about this to me is that we received a second email saying the exact same thing 5 months later. So the first one was date stamped January 12th, 2022. And then the second one saying the exact same thing was dated June 24th, 2022. Both were just saying, hey, your AdSense account was recently canceled. And then invalid click activity was the reason. If I can show a screenshot of our YouTube studio right now as well. It'll show, it says your associated AdSense for YouTube account is disabled for invalid click activity or other policy reasons.
Could there be a reason? Could there be an avenue where the creator actually was the cause of that?
I mean, I guess I could see a world in which, like, if you're trying to farm engagement,
right?
Yeah, like if you're trying to, I think that's what it's getting at here is like this.
But that would be views other than, because what are the clicks? Is it a click on the video?
I think it's click on ads in the videos.
Even then, it's like, how could one person actually do that unless they made a bot to do it?
Yes. Yeah, it has to be.
Which is what they're essentially accusing us of.
More or less. That's kind of what I took it as at face value is like, oh, you think that we tried to like pay for engagement and pay for interaction on our channel.
To get a lot of AdSense.
To get AdSense or maybe to like get monetization in the first place or to like cheat the system in some way.
Is there anyone who wants to see your downfall?
My downfall?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about all those swears I said in first grade. I think...
Principal Stanley.
Principal Stanley's coming after our YouTube channel now. Principal Stanley.
Hey, man.
Listen, you say enough swears.
I don't know, dude. We are going down the rabbit hole of conspiracies in this episode.
This truly just feels like an error to me.
Yeah.
It like more than anything else.
Even if that did happen and a bot did do that on our channel, still, it was enough to warrant that.
Yeah.
How could anybody confidently start a YouTube channel knowing that AdSense will be a pretty substantial part of the business model, thinking, oh, like this could happen to me?
Right.
Are we just like such an outlier that's so unfortunate that it happened to us? Because
I feel like yes.
I mean, once we got into the monetizable zone again over the 4,000 watch hours, I looked it up, and I don't know if we had a conversation about it at length when it actually happened in 22.
No, because we were life was so crazy at that time, and also the show was kind of in flux.
Yeah, we weren't making episodes.
No.
So I don't think I knew it happened.
No.
And then I saw that we didn't have monetization. I'm like, what's going on? And so then I went down the rabbit hole you did.
Yeah.
And then I got on a chat with probably AI or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was basically the same thing, like, oh, you can file this appeal.
Yeah.
And then I showed it all to you, and you're like, I already did that. And they didn't do anything.
Oh, they didn't care at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tough part is that I do understand why Google needs to protect their advertisers. Obviously. Like they do need to have certain systems in place. I think it's the checks and balances here that feels very skewed in favor of them and their advertisers versus the creator, because the fact that the fact that they just hit you with, hey, it's canceled. If you'd like, you can appeal it. And then they put the onus on you to appeal something that you don't even know what you're like being accused of.
Yeah.
They didn't even explain what the invalid click activity, the traffic, any of that was. I had to go find that myself, had to go find other videos explaining what this was and how other people have addressed it in the past. And then had to just more or less make a fake sounding apology because I didn't even know what we were like being accused of in the first place. It felt crazy.
Did you find in your research, did you find anybody who has gone through the same thing and then didn't win their appeal either?
Yes. Oh, plenty of people.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the heck?
Yes. Yeah. The fact that, like, again, I get it, but I think they're like for a company the size of Google and the worth of Google, and considering that YouTube is quite literally the most viewed platform of any video content, and it's clearly having an impact for other people's livelihoods and just lives, period, there has to be a more robust system in place to check something like this, because we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And I still don't even know to this day what the source of what they saw on their end was. So it feels like a tough pill to swallow even still, because like we just don't know.
Yeah. Wait, I know that you have an action item later in this episode, but I want to give another action item right now. If you know anybody that works at Google or have any connections to Google, feel free to send them this podcast episode.
Yeah.
Or tweet this at them.
Yes.
Because I don't know, like
That'd be cool if you could help.
Well, their own system doesn't work, so maybe we try other forces outside their own system to try to bully them into paying us what we rightly deserve, Steven.
Just paying attention. It does kind of stink that we've been the most consistent we've ever been.
It sucks, yeah.
And we've put out so much good stuff, and episodes have done really well and all that, and podcasts do quite well on YouTube, and we just have seen no AdSense from it, even though ads are obviously still running on those channels. Yeah, like so any ad you've seen on our channel the last 2.5 years, and you've been like, hey, I'm gonna watch the full thing because I love Eric and Steven. I'm so sorry to say we haven't seen a dime of that.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Which is quite frustrating. I think the most like the most visceral reminder from all this is just like how little companies like this care about the creators involved. Yeah. And it reminds me of that saying of like, if the product is free, then you are the product.
Yeah.
So, we get the luxury of getting to use YouTube as a platform to distribute whatever we want for free. Like we don't have to pay anything. But also when something happens, it seems like this response is just like, well, tough kind of thing. It's like good appeal. Sorry.
Or even just a window of when it's down and then just open it again.
Or just have the ability to earn it back. Like you said, like we tenfold have earned back that subscriber mark, that trust, that watch hour benchmark too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the final nail on the coffin too with something like this, is that when your AdSense account gets deleted, you can't apply for a new one. And you also can't make an associated account. We couldn't delete this
we can't even make another Rally Caps YouTube channel.
No, we could not delete the YouTube channel and start a brand new one and put every one of this is our 90th episode. We couldn't put 90 videos on that brand new channel with a new email address, new contact info, all that, because technically it's related to the original account that got flagged. So you can't even try to backpedal.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just so odd.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think from their perspective, they're like, oh, well, this has to be malicious. It's not.
Well, yeah, I think if we had more, if the channel was way bigger, we would have made this episode way sooner.
Much sooner.
Like, tried to contact them a whole lot more. So like to that point, it's not like we're relying on income through AdSense on the Rally Caps YouTube channel.
No.
That extra little pocket change would be great for production and things that we have to buy, the gear that we've invested in, all that stuff.
But it definitely would have made the last few years easier in a lot of respects, and also would have just felt like we were getting what we were
It's motivation.
Owed. Yeah, it's absolutely motivation. Yeah.
But, like no matter how small you are, the fact that I felt like that's what was so bogus in the first place when they made the AdSense thing, where it was like, you need to be this popular in order to, we'll still run ads on your video, but you need to be this popular.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, guys,
Yeah.
like even small creators are still benefiting your platform, and your platform doesn't exist without the people that put stuff on it. So like, it's really hard because you have Spotify, who I don't think at this point, unless you're Joe Rogan, you don't have any money coming from Spotify.
No, you get like 7/10 of 1/7 of a penny per stream.
Yeah. So in that sense, I think YouTube's sitting there just being like, hey, we're the best out of any platform. We're actually going to pay you. I don't know. I feel so conflicted about the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the fact that other people can, like the heavy majority can benefit from it monetarily. And then there's people who don't get enough views or get ruled out for a bogus reason like us who can't benefit in the same way.
Yep.
Again, to have no system to try to appeal is just wild.
Or even give a warning. That's the weird part, because YouTube as a company, which is obviously owned by Google, but YouTube has a system in place. 3 channel strikes kind of thing. Like you'll get warned when you are stepping outside of the boundaries that YouTube has created. The scariest part about this whole situation was that it was Google that came in and was like, no, we're going to delete the root cause. Like YouTube is the vehicle, but we're going to delete the account that we make that you have to use in order to participate in the partner program on YouTube, which just feels like another layer deeper. And if there is no balance system, if it's cancel first, appeal later, it feels a lot more dicey.
Yeah, that's not a very innocent until proven guilty kind of model.
I'd say it's quite the opposite.
And I do get pretty conspiratorial when it comes to, and this is real conspiracy against algorithmic platforms like this. When stuff like this happens, I feel like there's some sort of like ratcheting down of reach when these things happen. And that's not true based on like the growth that we've seen. But the question that's always looming in the back of my mind is like, would there be more growth? Sure. I'm feeling that on my run channel right now because I'm like, I can see why views are waning in this marathon series versus the last one. Because over a year and a half, people start getting out of running and not as interested in it anymore. The niche is getting more saturated, all these other reasons. But the BAA gave me 2 channel strikes.
Are they still on your channel?
Attempted
to. Okay, yeah.
They went to YouTube and was like, he wasn't allowed to film on our course.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like if something negative is associated with the account. Oh, okay.
So it wasn't even like, it thankfully in that case, it was a warning. It wasn't just
because it was through YouTube and not AdSense.
Correct.
Like Google, YouTube and not Google.
Like YouTube Studio straight up was like, you need to delete these 2 videos. Or else in 7 days. And if you don't, you will have a channel strike for each
video. And you only get 3.
And you only get 3 and then the channel's deleted. So I very quickly appealed to the BAA and they went to YouTube and were like, okay, he followed our rules. He took stuff out of the description. He demonetized the video. It can stay up. And so YouTube lifted that warning. But then I'm thinking, algorithmically, does their algorithm see that I had those warnings and is now like, this isn't a safe account. Don't promote it more. Right. And you'll never know. Unless it's like so drastic that you see views like become 1/10 of what they were at one point. And it's nothing that drastic, but I'm like, it's still.
To that point, I'd be curious to see if there are very prominent YouTube channels that have gotten channel strikes and still have them and still continue to thrive. Because I feel like there's been stories within other niches for like, I don't know them specifically, but I feel like I've seen in recommended sometimes like, oh, I got a channel strike, here's what happened kind of thing. And I wonder if those channels like continue to thrive.
I don't know. I haven't done enough research. I know that has happened in the political realm on YouTube like crazy. But
all we can say for certain is that 2.5 years ago, we got demonetized via Google deleting our AdSense account, which has been a bummer, certainly. I think it was a blow to morale more than anything else. But as you can also probably tell by virtue of us making this video and having maintained rally caps over the last 2.5 years, we're still not going anywhere.
No.
Like we're still making the show.
Yeah.
It's been, I think, a huge bummer. And still, we love doing this. And so we're not going anywhere. However, we also are trying to propose a solution to this and take a little bit more ownership over the audience, all of you, like the fans that be for Rally Caps, instead of relying on a platform like YouTube and Google AdSense to, actually get any kind of money from the platform for the content that we're putting out on there. We are revisiting something that we introduced 3 years ago. And what is that, Eric?
It's Patreon.
Whoa! I get so many people for sure knew this was coming. The moment they saw the title, we got demonetized, and what we're doing about it is like, I have a feeling Patreon's coming up in that conversation. But the spirit behind Patreon is to do exactly that: is to move, your core audience off of a platform like YouTube,
where you don't have control.
Yeah, where things like this can happen. And I think more than ever, personally, I'm feeling like just how valuable that is to have a space to have much more control and direct connection with those people who want to be a part of supporting the show and making it happen, whatever other channels. And you've had so much experience with Patreon over the years as well. It's a cool way to safeguard yourself from something like this happening, where you wake up one day and just find that, I can't make money from this avenue anymore. So we did have a Patreon for about 8 or 9 months, I think, a couple of years ago. We'll be just resurrecting that account. We more or less stopped and had said on social media, like, hey, we can't maintain this with where we're at currently. If you want to keep supporting us, feel free to, but also no pressure at all. Please dip out if you need to and just don't want to continue supporting in that way. But we're going to bring that back. We're going to do it consistently and much more thoughtfully, I think, this time, which is very exciting. It's been cool to bring that page up again and kind of update some stuff and even just look at the archive of episodes we already have on there. We did basically an extra episode of Rally Caps called Extra Innings. Baseball fans, anyone? Bueller. We did an extra episode of the podcast each week. It was like a 15 to 20 minute episode. So for that $5 a month tier that we're offering on Patreon, you'll basically have access to 4 episodes of that each month. That will just be an extra little podcast episode from our time recording this, because a lot happens during recording that doesn't necessarily make the cut. So there'll be an extra episode. And then if you want to bump up to the $10 a month tier, you'll get access to Extra Innings still, plus have access to a free digital Rally Caps baseball card featuring you, of all people. It'll be personalized, customized to you. You basically just send us a photo, and I've got a template mocked up for our own Rally Caps baseball card. It's like an NFT, but it actually has value, is the way I like to describe it. It's actually cool. It's commemorative and it's fun.
Are NFTs real anymore?
I don't think so, man. Not fungible anymore.
No, they are.
NFAs. And there'll be like an extra little bonus, kind of extra piece of content that's thrown into that top tier as well, that you'll have exclusive access to in that top tier. And then, hey, the best part about this is that there's also just a free option. You can just join the Rally Caps community for free on Patreon. You won't get access to the things that I just mentioned, but you will have the option to participate in polls to influence the direction of of the actual episodes happening. So when we run, for Q&A episodes, we'll have, first access will be on the Patreon, which you can join again for free. So you can offer some insight there as to what we talk about on the show. And then also just kind of like community posts and updates in general will all be free for everyone who's just on the page. Super excited about it. I think it'll be a cool way to engage with everybody again. And again, just like take a little more ownership over the stuff that we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun to be able to do those, especially with guest episodes, which we will be ramping up again.
Yeah.
Now we can officially.
Oh, we can talk about it
say,
now. Yeah, we can. Another big update. Yeah.
Yeah. Creative Club, our co-working studio, is sadly dissolving.
It is dissolving. Yep. We made the announcement today. We're recording this on Tuesday, August 27th. This episode's going to go out either on Labor Day, maybe the day after, the 2nd or the 3rd. We might just wait until, we usually post on Mondays. The Monday is a holiday this year, so we might just do Tuesday, maybe.
I think Monday's the holiday. Monday's the Labor Day every year.
Is it always Monday?
I think so.
How can it always be Monday? Laura's birthday is on Labor Day.
Oh, maybe it's not then.
Is that?
I don't know.
In the Gregorian calendar, is that even
Oh, right.
Is it possible?
So Creative Club.
So Creative Club is closing. We're dissolving as an entity.
And yeah, people are like sending us all the crying emojis, and we're like, okay, but like we're all still friends.
Yeah. Oh, very much all still friends. And also,
also
not really a lot is changing if we're being totally honest here.
We're just closing our downstairs studio and all moving up to this one we're sitting in right now.
Yes. For longtime listeners of the show and followers of us, you know that Eric, Jean, and I got this studio that we're in right now that has the Rally Cap set in it 2 years ago, just about. And we've maintained this space along with a much larger, like twice as large space on the floor right below us. We're simply moving out because, lives change and careers change and stuff. And some of our members and it's also expensive. And some members are moving away. And for, 4 or 5 people to split that entire space downstairs doesn't make any sense at all. So we're just going to consolidate up here instead. So we're still going to be here, but just not under the Creative Club Chicago moniker necessarily.
Yeah. And it's no longer like community events and that kind of stuff, but more of just our private studio where we shoot and work and record podcasts.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm feeling the weight of that too, especially like moving into this season of kids getting older and having 4 children that are all mobile. So
yeah.
Home office is being built too. There's a lot of change happening at home.
Lots
as well.
of change.
There's change happening everywhere.
All over the place.
Yeah.
But one thing I think will be really fun in regards to the Patreon in particular is that it'll be a much tighter knit group up here. We'll all be in the same space. I think there'll be a lot more room, not only for guest bonus episodes of extra innings being posted on that page, but also just like little, either like vlog style videos or kind of very like loose, fun, easy stuff that happens in this space up here.
Yep.
Just making videos or like having all 5 of us, because it's going to be you, me, Gene, Brax, and Cyrus all up here together, getting everybody on mic for a little extra innings episode. I think it'll be a lot more candid.
Or just like the walk to Trader Joe's or something.
That too. Like, why not? Like just SM58s and just like little things like that. I think there's a lot of room to just kind of treat the Patreon as a fun place to explore. And if you want to see some of those techniques that we're using to explore, we'd really appreciate your support. At minimum, we would just love to, frankly, just cover the monthly costs that the show incurs. Just speaking candidly, it would be amazing to kind of take some of that financial burden off of our shoulders and make, I think, maybe a space that's a little less of like okay, all right, like let's make it happen, and instead be like, oh, we're excited to make it happen. Because it's been 3.5, it'll be 4 years. In October, actually. It'll be 4 years since we recorded our first episode. We published our first episode January of 2021, but we started recording with like Benj and Danielle, Rachel, and Jack, all these people early fall of 2020. We've been doing this for a very long time, and we're not going anywhere. Even if 0 people sign up for the Patreon, we're not going anywhere. We're still going to do it because we do love it, but it would be amazing if some of y'all decide to hop on board and support in that way. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. So, it's both an informative little video essay style thing and also a plea to help.
So, yeah.
If you want to sign up, Patreon link will be in the description of this YouTube video, Spotify, show notes, all that stuff. Thanks for considering. Really appreciate it. I hate asking for money and support in this realm.
I love it.
Eric,
so
we're 2 sides of the different coin.
Yeah.
We're 2 coins and 2 different coins.
Cash. Entirely. And, we've given you all of the support and help in your career and motivation and inspiration, then just support us.
It would be so
with money.
Or just do the free option. It's fine too. That's cool too. We're like the angel and the devil on their shoulder right now. It's like, give me money. It's like, no, just do the free thing. Yeah, whatever you decide to give, at the very least, sincerely, just sign up for the free tier, because I think it'll be a fun place to interact with everyone on a communal level, to like get like Q&A stuff directly from the people that are most excited about everything, rather than throwing it onto an Instagram void. Talk about another algorithm and stuff like that too. You know, it's just like every time we like throw up Q&A things for Rally Caps, it's like I feel like most of the people that want to ask questions don't even see that we're trying to get questions from people.
Yeah.
So again, it's more direct communication with all of you. And that's what we want more than anything, is just more intentionality with the show going forward. So Patreon is the route that we're choosing to make that happen.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting always.
100th episode is coming up soon.
Very soon?
This is episode 90.
90.
90
10
today.
more.
That's so wild, man.
November.
Yeah. Cool. We love you all. Thanks for being here. And yeah, if you've never heard of invalid click activity, please leave a comment below, because we certainly hadn't before this happened. So yeah, start some conversations and start bullying Google into giving our AdSense account back.
Actually, like tweet at them. I mean, I'm not on Twitter X anymore, but maybe you are.
Yeah, start Xing them. That sounds weird.
Yeah,
I don't
don't
like that.
do that.
Why was it changed to X? Twitter's like the best.
Everyone says tweet still.
Twitter
right?
is like the best name for a social media platform. It was so good. Mm-hmm. It's a dumpster fire, but it was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it with sharing film photos. It was like,
Yeah.
that was a vibe for a while.
Film Twitter was cool for like a year.
Yeah. And
was.
then NFTs happened.
And then I was, get the heck out of here. There's no way.
Dude, you almost said a bad word.
I almost said, hey, if you want to hear me swear, you can go to patreon.com/rallycapspodcast.
If you want to hear,
I don't even know if that's a URL.
if you want to, if you want to hear Danny Gavertz completely unhinged on his inevitable 3rd episode, then definitely subscribe to our
gosh.
Patreon to listen to that Extra Innings episode.
We have to do a 3rd with him.
Yeah, he already wants it.
I know.
Yeah.
He slid into that comment. He was like one of the first people. He's
But
like,
you heard today we are officially getting Wi-Fi up here on Thursday.
yeah,
And
which is
that's
huge.
when we can have.
Yeah. Guest episodes are
Guest
like
episodes.
in the works as we speak because of that. Yeah. That's why we haven't done a guest episode in a minute, is just like trying
Because
to
I wouldn't get the
internet.
mesh extender.
Well, there's that, but also it takes so much coordination, and
Yeah.
summer / moving still stuff / just work in general is like really tough. But we've got invites sent out into the ether right now. We're going to get some really fun guests
Yes.
on the show very soon. Especially in the winter, I think will be a really cool time to get some good stuff going.
Yeah.
So
Try to convince people to come to Chicago in the winter too.
Preston might.
Who?
Preston?
Who?
Maybe Preston.
What?
We should talk to him about that.
That'd be cool.
We still got to think of a video idea for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well,
A sailboat with skates on Lake Michigan.
that's what he said.
Sounds terrifying. Sounds lethal is what that sounds.
Yikes.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Sincerely.
Yep.
We love you all. Appreciate you. We will see you in next week's episode number 91 of Rally Caps.
Goodbye.